All right, guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys the most common mistakes made in barrel racing and what you can do to fix them. So let's get Storm loaded up and let's go work some barrels. All right, guys, we are at the arena and I'm going to start by showing you guys the most common mistakes at the first barrel and what you can do to fix them to have a much better run. So let's get into it. So the most common mistake that I see a lot of people making is they come into this first barrel way too close. So when you come in this close to your barrel, your horse is now having to make a 360-degree turn. You're giving them absolutely no room to run around. So when you're coming in to that arena, you want to be just to the inside of the third barrel. So I'm going to be just to the right of this third barrel. So when I'm coming into the arena, I'm looking at that barrel. I'm not that close to the barrel. I'm giving my horse a nice pocket. So I'm headed straight for that first barrel. And then right when I get to here, I'm going to start making a fish hook shape. We're going to ask for a nice inside pocket. And the next mistake I see people making is the very opposite of that, where people are going to turn way too wide. So they come into the arena, they are headed right for that third barrel, but instead of starting their turn here, they keep going and you come and make your turn way out here. And this is what's gonna separate an amateur from a pro. You don't want any space between that barrel and your leg. So I'm gonna ask her for a lope and I'm gonna show you what the perfect angle looks like. The next mistake I see people making is when they come, they're doing the right. So I'm gonna show you the perfect angle. I'm gonna show you where your horse should be. I'm gonna show you slow and then I'll show you sped up. All right, so what I do coming into the arena, I'm gonna stare straight at that third barrel over there. I'm gonna be just to the inside of it. And then as I get a little closer, I'm basically gonna create a fish hook. Gradual turn, and my horse is gonna be right here. We push her a little bit past, and then we ask for a nice turn. So I'm gonna do that a little faster now. Right about here, she was giving me a little issue with shouldering. So I'm gonna ask her to come back. What I would typically do is I would slow her down and I'd ask her for a few more circles around that barrel. But she had the right idea of foot placement and where I wanted her to be lined up. But I'm gonna ask her to do it one more time and I'm gonna ask her to do it more correct this time and not so lazy. There you go. Good. That was better. Even though we knocked it, I wanted her to be way closer to that barrel. She was giving me way too much space. So she did what I asked, and we only knocked it because I was asking her to get right on top of that barrel. So she did exactly what I asked. Good. That was perfect. And you see right there, that was the perfect angle. She had enough space to fully come around, and when she swung out, she didn't hit the barrel, so we gave her enough room on both sides to really turn around hard. Storm has more of like a rollback style, so I can kind of get in her way with her shoulders where she can kind of hit it. So on the back side of the barrel, I'll kind of show you what that means. Some horses are a 4x4 style, which means they're just gonna pull their body around by themselves. Storm has a rollback style, which means I need to get her past because she's gonna stop her butt completely and she's gonna move her shoulders like this. So if we're not far enough past, her shoulder's just gonna rock right into that barrel. So on some horses, you can get real close. On a 4x4 style horse who just pulls through no matter what, you can just really wrap their bodies around. But on a rollback style horse, you really gotta push them out, get their hip past, and then they're gonna roll that shoulder around. All right, now we're gonna work on the second barrel. The second barrel, there's not too many mistakes. Probably the most common mistake I see people make is when they leave the first barrel. When you turn the first barrel, you're gonna ask for one hand and you're gonna go down to the horn. And that's perfectly fine. But on the back side of this barrel, you need to learn to let go and you need to go two-handed. One-handed to here, we're gonna finish our turn, we're gonna go forward and you need to get to two hands. Because when you're holding with one hand and you're trying to push them like this, you're all over the place. So we need to get to two hands and we gotta ask them to really push and you gotta stay two-handed till right about here and then ask them for that turn. And then same thing when we leave, right back to two hands. I see a lot of people on this barrel really yank their horse's face around. That's not really a great turn for your horse. If you turn your horse's nose into the barrel, No matter what they do, you can't hit this barrel. So if your horse's nose is pulled into that barrel, she can't hit no matter what I do. So when you ask for that turn and you drop your hand, you're just gonna slightly pull up, slightly bend your arm, and right over the barrel. I'm gonna ask her to go a little bit faster, so I'm gonna trot this first barrel and then I'll ask for some speed right between. Easy. Good. All right, she gave me a really nice, beautiful, perfect turn. She was so close to that barrel, and that's exactly what we want to see. That's really going to separate those amateurs from the pro, is how close you are to that barrel. That tiny little bit of space between the barrel and your leg could shave off more time than you can possibly understand. So now let's work on the third. When we're coming off this second barrel, you're probably going to be here, and you're probably going to be one-handed. Even if you are one-handed, I want to see your hands at your horse's ears. I want to see you forward in your seat, and that's fine, but we don't want to stay one-handed. You're going to want to go two-handed, and you're going to want to push and drive your horse forward. We're going to push past this barrel, and we're going to drop to one hand, bring our hand over the barrel, and ask for that turn. And this is the final stretch home. So a lot of people, they don't finish their turn here. They come up super wide. They let their horse finish super wide, and they just let them blast off. But if I come that wide around this barrel, we're gonna lose a lot of time. So you want this barrel to be just as correct as your other barrels. You don't want it to be sloppy. A lot of people let their horses get sloppy after the second, but we gotta keep it nice and correct. Good barrel. And I know there's a fence there. And I know it can be real scary to keep pushing, but you cannot teach your horse to slow down on this most important, this most crucial part of your time, because you could be having a phenomenal time and then you're running home and you start to sit down and slow your horse down and pull them up. You're gonna lose so much time running out the gate. The amount of people I see pull up at this barrel instead of waiting to get to the timers, it's insane. You gotta really push your horse all the way to the fence. Ask them for that last little bit of run that they've got in them, and you don't stop until you're at that fence. All right, let's put it all together. I always like to pick 3 things to think about when I'm in there. My first is always, because Storm has such a shouldering issue, I want to push her past that barrel before I ask for a turn. My second thing is I'm going to push her past those timers. I'm not going to let her pull up. And my third thing is just keeping all the barrels up, keeping it clean, staying out of her way, and letting her run. So let's see if we can put one nice, clean, correct run together. And then from there, I'm going to analyze it and see what I can do to be better for her. Lovely run. I'm not working with the best ground here, so we're gonna have our issues, but overall I was really pleased and happy with that. It would have made a nice timed run, and in better ground it's gonna be even better than that. I know personally I need to work in getting a little tighter coming into the second and the third barrel, but overall I'm really happy with it, really pleased. She's making to be a really great little barrel horse. All right, that's it for today. I hope you learned something new. I've got a lot of different tips and tricks up my sleeve. I'd be happy to share them with you guys, but I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.